Hello, mis cielitos, and welcome back. Coco and Rosh are here, and we are continuing Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Can you do that again?
There's no denying it. Forensics proved that the gun and the bullet are a match. The bullet that killed Rook was fired from the gun you found in the spectator area. So who pulled the trigger? It can't be me. I was up on stage, which leaves your little friend. The hack killed Rook. She's the murderer, and you just proved it. Your move, Edgeworth. But just remember two things. One, where you found that gun. And two, which gun the fatal bullet came from. Whichever way you look at it, I can't have been the shooter!
How did it come to this?
Me and the president, we admitted to faking the assassination attempt. Now it's your turn to admit something. Who the killer really is. There's no way Tabby did it, is there?
Don't let him get to you, Kay. We just need to go over his statements again. There must be something further we can deduce from them.
Okay, let's do this, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no denying it. Forensics proved that the gun and the bullet are a match.
Hold it!
No, that's...
Objection!
What was it you said? That forensics would back you up? How does it feel to be shot in the chest by your own conclusive proof? Huh? Not so good, I imagine. The bullet and the gun are a match, Mr. Edgeworth. That kinda has to mean that Tabby pulled the trigger, no?
Even so, I simply cannot accept that.
But sir, there's no denying the evidence.
There isn't, so what am I missing? If I assume Miss Lloyd to be innocent, then the gun and the bullet shouldn't be a match. What is it, Kay?
I was just thinking, if the evidence points to something that doesn't seem possible, then maybe there's something wrong with it.
You're asking me to call the evidence into question.
Well, there's no way Tabby did this, right? So if the evidence says that she did, then the problem must lie there.
You seem very sure about this.
Call up my great thief's intuition.
Intuition, huh? Still, she could be right. I simply don't believe Miss Lloyd to be a malicious liar, which means... As someone who believes that evidence is everything in court, the irony is not lost on me, but... If I were to call a piece of evidence into question, it would have to be... the gun?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
If something untoward is going on here, it would have to involve the weapon, not the bullets. After all, we only just recovered the bullet a little while ago. Furthermore, we know that Mr. Knight had an opportunity to handle the gun.
Now have the evidence you have gathered and remove yourselves from this plane. Oh god, he's so awful like that.
Uh-huh.
I'd do as he says if I were you, Edgeworth.
This can't really be the end of the line, can it? Indeed, he had ample opportunity. There's no doubt that this gun is the weapon that was used in the crime. Which means it must belong to...
Either Knight or Rook. Yeah, I would assume Rook.
Take that!
Could it have been... Ooh.
Oh. Oh well.
No, when would that person have swapped it? And why? This is the weapon that was used in the crime. It must have been switched. Okay, so I guess it's him?
Yeah.
Take that!
The gun belongs to Mr. Knight. He switched them around. That has to be it.
The killed Rook was fired from the gun you found in the spectator area.
Hold it! Objection!
No, you hold it. You were the one who proved this. Or are you saying that forensics was wrong?
The bullet had the victim's blood on it, which means it must be the one that took his life. And it does seem to have been fired from the gun we found in the trash can.
Don't you just love this? Your face, Edgeworth, what a picture!
Grr. A man in dire straits, yes. Both spotted you.
Let's just agree that the facts are what they are and move on. That gun fired the fatal bullet. So who pulled the trigger?
Hold it!
Yes, who indeed?
Still can't bring yourself to admit the truth, huh? I get it. I was in your shoes just a few minutes ago. Burned me up on the inside, you know. Made me really want to shoot someone.
Uh-huh, so I'm just gonna jot that down.
Sorry, it's no laughing matter, I know. But we both know who really did shoot someone, don't we? It can't have been me. I was up on stage, which leaves your little friend.
Hold it!
What proof is there that Miss Lloyd fired that gun?
What proof? How about the forensics you ordered? They didn't find her prints though, did they? Yeah, the only prints they found were yours, pal!
Objection!
God, this section is just like, hey, you got his voice totally wrong. He's objected so many times. From where I confiscated the evidence, probably. Anyway, say it wasn't Miss Journalist. Who was it? Because it can't have been me.
It's like with Kirkus Alva from the first one, where, you know, we gave him a nice little old man voice, and then when he finally speaks, it's like super deep baritone.
Yeah. Yeah. Your own investigation put the shooter in the spectator area, didn't it? Are you ready to admit it yet? All the evidence points in one direction. The hack killed Rook. She's the murderer, and you just proved it.
Hold it!
That's not what I proved at all.
Oh yeah? So what did you prove? Still trying to make this about how I fired the first shot? Sure, you proved that, and I admitted it. But so what? You're forgetting that you're here to do one thing and one thing only. You got that right, to uncover the truth! And you think ruining your country's relationship with Zhang Fa is gonna do that? No, Your job is to solve an attempted assassination. Nothing else.
I'll decide what my job is. Thank you very much. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my dad.
I could be. Oh, sure. Let the trail go cold while you flip your wig over who gets to say what to who. Or you could finally do the right thing and admit that your little friend is guilty.
Never. You're the guilty one here. There's no doubt about it. Markings on the bullets are consistent with those left by the weapon from the trash can. But if Mr. Knight were to have tampered with the gun somehow, he could have only done it once. I'd handed over the evidence, and not a moment before.
Isn't there anything we can do, Mr. Edgeworth? There must be something.
Our reasoning thus far has been sound, I'm sure of it. Which means we can overcome his defenses this time as well.
Even with forensics results on his side?
If a testimony is untruthful, there's always a contradiction to be found. Let's listen to what he has to say for himself one more time. Let's see the description of the gun. Switched for the one found in the spectator area. Bullet markings match those of the bullet fired in the incident.
Yeah, I think you have to present that one. Is it the next one? Yeah, because it says it's switched, right?
Yeah, it says that. Huh.
I suppose you could present it a few of them.
Yeah. I guess this one, because it's actually designating a location.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Admit it. You switched the guns, didn't you, Mr. Knight? That's why the markings match the weapon in question. It was yours all along.
An intriguing move there, Edgeworth. And?
You must have made the switch when I handed over the evidence. While I was busy trying to make the case for remaining on the investigation. You took the laser sight from the gun we found in a trash can and put it on your own. Then, not long afterwards, you handed that gun back to me instead of the one we found.
I did, huh? You think I somehow knew you'd find, let alone run forensics on that bullet sometimes in the future?
Is that so strange? You're a chess player after all. A man well used to thinking several moves ahead.
Revolver Ocelot time. I'm flattered. But much as it pains me to admit it, I suck at chess, actually. Sorry. But much as it pains me to admit it, you're overestimating my abilities. Besides, do you even have any proof that I made the switch? The gun is the same model as mine. Weird, sure, but it's just a coincidence. And look, there's a laser sight attached. Also, take a look in the cylinder. 2 spent bullets. Just what we'd expect to see. So what proof do you have that I switched the original gun out for mine, huh? None! That's what.
You say I'm overestimating your abilities. You surprise me.
What can I say? I'm a modest guy. More modest for... Sorry, I mumbled that. More modest than you, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. It's hard to be.
Yeah. Everywhere except at the chessboard, that is.
Well, I don't see a chessboard here, do you?
Look at my tie. Shame. Still, guess that gives you a nice excuse. I didn't mess up. I just don't have the right evidence.
I don't think I'll be the one making excuses. Rather, I didn't mess up. They just got lucky with the evidence, will be your excuse, I'd imagine.
The gun is the same model as mine. Weird, sure, but it's just a coincidence.
Hold it!
A coincidence, you say?
Was it a necessity? It can't be both, pal! Sure it can. These bodyguards need to protect the president. And the girl needed to use a gun, but she probably didn't know a whole lot about them. Where's she from? Texas? They hate guns there. It's not so far-fetched for her to pick something she's... Sorry. It's not so far-fetched for her to pick something she's heard of that we also happen to use. Okay, but why a revolver? Why is that your go-to gun?
Kay just like unleashes a catalog of guns she's familiar with. This one would have been so much better for your work. It's probably something to do with the ease of use. No spent casings to chase down, for example.
Exactly. The perfect tool for a job where you can't afford to fail. Or don't know what you're doing.
That's really something I want in a person wielding a gun. Not knowing what they're doing.
Still, coincidence, necessity, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference either way. And look, there's a laser sight attached.
Hold it!
Because you swapped it on there.
Put up or shut up, Edgeworth. Where's your evidence?
That is...
Don't go making accusations you can't back up. Or did your daddy never teach you that?
Wow.
Oof. As it stands, the facts are in my favor here. So silence, bottom. Sorry.
He's in shock. Only Phoenix can say that.
Also, take a look in the cylinder. 2 spent bullets, just what we'd expect to see.
Hold it!
I've been meaning to ask, actually. What about your own weapon? How many spent bullets are in its cylinder?
This old girl here? Well now. I let loose a few rounds earlier, as you saw.
He reloads his gun every time he fires it.
Lord. But even if I were to tell you how many there were at the time, you'd have no way of verifying that.
Of course. In order to swap the guns properly, he'd have to maintain the right number of bullets per gun. He didn't have the chance to put on any gloves, though, which means...
Alright, I think it's about time you did the right thing and resigned, don't you? Game's all but done, see? So what proof do you have that I switched the original gun out for mine, huh? None, that's what.
Hold it!
The
Objection!
proof is...
Something you clearly don't have. If you did, you'd have made your move by now. We do so have proof. Right, Mr. Edgeworth?
We won't be given the chance to investigate any further. I'll have to work with what we've gathered. Think, Miles, think. Consider all the possibilities.
If you've got the goods, it's now or never. How are we supposed to prove? How are we supposed to prove he switched the guns?
Unfortunately, we don't have any direct evidence of his wrongdoing. But that in itself is a proof of a kind.
Because otherwise, the striations shouldn't line up like they do, right, sir?
Right, we must carefully consider and infer what we can from the evidence he brings up in his testimony. The truth is in there somewhere. Alright, so I believe they said that the gun still had,
Bullet markings match those of the bullet fired in the incident.
Oh, okay. Felt like there was some point in which There was a description in which it said how many there were.
2? I think?
Huh.
Two gunshots can clearly be heard.
Yeah. Huh.
Sorry, my throat's really sore.
No worries.
Can't we look at the gun? Like, you can look at things, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's you have to find the bullets at the end of the chamber, right? Just so everyone knows, I live in Scotland. We don't do guns here. Like, it should be in the chamber.
Okay. 2 spent bullets in the cylinder matching the 2 gunshots heard on the recording.
That proves it. This must be the weapon that was used.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, that does match up with what... But, like, the
But,
whole
like-
thing is that he would have reloaded
Could
it.
have had, yeah, so his prints should be on them. Like, can we, like, do we present this or do we look at the bullets themselves? Like, how would Edgeworth know that? Does Edgeworth just carry around a little forensics kit? Like, no. Like, what does the game want us to do here exactly?
Well,
Like,
I think what they were implying earlier when they had that whole conversation about how he always reloads is that it's saying that this is his gun, but if it really was his, it would be reloaded. It wouldn't still have 2 empty chambers. So it's proving that this is the gun that okay, I know, never mind. I'm getting myself confused. Cause I am remembering like what the description of the gun used to be
yeah.
before he switched them. Ah, man. I think it is.
I
I
think
think it is the gun. Maybe on
Yeah.
this one?
I think you have to look at the bullets because they made a point of saying that his prints would be on the bullets. And like, if you examine the gun and nothing happens, then we'll just try presenting the gun. But I think you got to look at the bullets.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, because they made a point of that, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all we can do in terms of looking at them.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Huh.
we can't like pull them out or anything like that.
Huh. Fair enough. I guess we just present the gun then.
Objection!
Okay. Music stopped, that means we're right. I have your proof. Right here.
That's your proof. I think you've been working too hard, Edgeworth.
Not the gun itself, the evidence it carries. Evidence that will prove once and for all that it does in fact belong to you.
I'm looking forward to this. Go ahead, make your move. What's about to come into play? The rook? The bishop? Not a pawn, surely.
The evidence the gun will provide takes the form of
Fingerprints?
fingerprints. Namely, your fingerprints, Mr. Knight.
Objection!
My prints? Of course my prints are on the gun. You handed it right to me when you gave up the evidence. How could they not be on there?
Objection!
What if I told you there are prints on a part of the gun that you shouldn't have touched at any point?
Where? You can't prove that.
Oh, but I can. There's a place where your fingerprints could never have been left if things happened as you say. Allow me to present the final piece of evidence that will bring your game to its rightful conclusion. Alright, now we do what Rosh says.
Okay. I'm a dum-dum. Forget that this name is Flo.
Here, look closely at the cylinder, detective.
2 bullets fired, but where are the prints we're looking for, sir?
You did indeed switch the guns when I handed you the evidence. If that were all you had done, your deception would have been easily detected. Because the number of bullets fired by each gun was different.
There were 2 spent bullets in the gun we found.
Yeah, but what about Mr. Knight's gun?
We know that he fired 2 bullets from the stage into the balloon. And he fired another bullet into Mr. Rook, ending his life. So 3 bullets in total, plus the few odd ones he let loose in shock during our little game. And after each shot, he reloaded his gun out of habit. With his bare hands, of course. Officer, we're exactly where Mr. Knight's fingerprints found. The ones you mentioned in your report. Sir, they were found on the exterior of the weapon, but also on the bullets themselves. Right? I'm not sure they could have gotten there just from me handing you the evidence, Mr. Knight.
I guess.
And there we have it. Proof you did indeed switch the guns. This gun, the one which fired the bullet that killed Mr. Rook, is yours. And in taking his life, you are the true assassin.
I didn't.
Checkmate.
No! I'm not gonna keep doing that.
Ow, ow, ow.
I think you really got me there. I was going to be the new chief of security. That blasted Rook. If it hadn't have been for him, I'd been in charge by now. I'd been in control of the whole team. The plan was perfect. The fake assassination was supposed to be flawless.
Detective Gumshoe.
Right away, sir. Curse you, Edgeworth! Our game isn't over yet. Aye.
I'm afraid this is as far as we go for today. Next moves we play will be in the courtroom.
But it's not fair. It's not fair. All right, silence bomb. No, why is he back? Oh, woke up. I hate it.
Even his legs. March 25, 5:12 p.m. Gourd Lake, Lakeside Stage.
Mr. Edgeworth, I owe you a debt of gratitude. You exposed a murderer within the ranks of my own personal guard. I will not soon forget that.
He's suddenly very presidential again, now that we're back outside the plane.
I saw it, you know, when I first proposed the fake assassination to him. You want me to handle it, not Rook? Rook refused, but I can rely on you, can't I? Of course, sir. You can count on me. I'll put together a plan that can't possibly fail. And he'll play his part like the pawn he is. The hatred in his eyes was plain to see. He despised poor Rook. I was not entirely comfortable about moving forward with Knight in charge of our little deception. And looking back, I think he sensed my discomfort. I can't help thinking I played a part in his decision to end Rook's life.
Mr. President, none of this would have happened if you hadn't plotted to fake an attempt on your life. That was your crime. It is a crime you'll have to live with.
You are right. I can only apologize for the part I played. And I will no doubt be made to pay for my actions in one way or another. But I thank you nonetheless. You solved the riddle of Rook's demise, and for that, I shall be eternally grateful. I will be here in your country for a little while longer yet. But when I have returned home, perhaps you will visit us in Zengvar. You will always be welcome. One day Gumshoe's gonna do that and his sprite is just gonna collapse.
Aww.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all don't know how grateful I am.
All's well that ends well.
Miss Lloyd, the accusation of murder made against you was of course entirely groundless. But the fact remains that you were a willing participant in the staged assassination attempt. The police will no doubt wish to speak to you about the matter. You should be aware that you may well be punished for your actions.
I know, and I'm awful sorry about everything, truly I am.
I understand your desire for a scoop, but there are limits. And come on, in this world there's always something going on, you'll always have a scoop.
There sure are. I got me some serious thinking to do, and hopefully I'll get one of them there scoops one day.
You did it, Mr. Edgeworth. That was something else. Local prosecutor solves assassination conundrum. Earns eternal gratitude of the president. How's that for a headline?
Hey, that there's my department. Mr. Prosecutor, how does it feel to solve such an important case? You must be over the moon.
He certainly doesn't stay down for long. No comment.
Dang, you're one tight-lipped son of a gun.
As well as I should be. This case is not over yet.
Hasn't? How come so?
Because until we unravel the story behind this, the case will never be completely over.
Steel samurai balloon.
That's what he wants. When are we having a funeral?
That'll be the shell, yeah.
Take that!
Killer's calling card.
Mr. the Killer has yet to complete his assignment.
You mean he might still try to murder the president?
I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not, this could all blow up into something more sinister yet. As one would expect with the attempted assassination of a president. The case was all over the news, and my preparations for Mr. Knight's trial were constantly interrupted by requests from the press. There wasn't a person in the land who didn't know about the case. Everybody was talking about it. I'm sure Phoenix missed it somehow. But in the midst of the frenzy that followed, nobody noticed that this was only the first move in a game far bigger than any of us could have imagined.
Flicks to Phoenix, like sitting on the couch watching reruns of Bridgerton while eating frozen yogurt.
Yes! And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you have a wonderful time zone wherever you are. And as always, please do take care of yourselves and each other. Toodaloo-hoo!
Hey.